Hello, YouTuber. I am the Carbon, and this is my car. Okay. Okay, well, I have built up all the way to the swamp shrine. I still don't know how I'm going to do swamps because we have two swamps, actually just one swamp. As you can see over there, there's the witch's hut swamp area. I and when you look at the big map, it actually does connect the two swamps, so this is all swamp area. But the thing about swamps is the water is damaging. Like if you fall into the water in a swamp, it damages you. So I don't exactly know how I want to do that because I could just have a layer of water that's all the way up to here and just put magna blocks underneath it all because I want to make sure that I actually have the water because it is a swamp and it's kind of stupid to have it without it. But then we have to worry about, the bubble columns hurting you or sucking you into that. And the only way to get around that is if you just have flowing water, which I guess I could do if I just put it underneath of these and put it along the edges. That I guess could work. Because that way you can still jump out of the water. Yeah, that might be what I'm going for. Yeah. Might be. Don't entirely like it, but it might be the only real way to do it. But yeah, this is the Swamp Shrine entrance right here. This is the Swamp Shrine exit right here. This is a sheer cliff right here. Okay. And yeah, this is all I think I can do for building because one way is Mechator over there, but then there's the island over there, and that's where Mechator is more or less. If not Mechator, there's definitely some kind of it's just past Mechator is what's over there. Well, if it's just past Mechator actually, then it might be a good idea to start Mechator because then I will be basically right on that island when I get to the other side. Let me look at Mechator. Yeah, it looks like Mechator is 1, 2, 3 segments, maybe 2.5-ish. Yeah, that will probably put me right on the border instead. And then that might be able to give me a way to the I know you guys can't see what I'm looking at because I'm looking at the map of the entire world of or the Mekator Island map. Um, and that could get me all the way to the green zone, possibly, but I still don't know how I want to do the green zone because I don't know how that will connect. It it gives me great trepidation. Uh, because as good as these maps are, I know they're not perfect. I've already shown you how they're not perfect. They're not perfect when you go inside a structure, or the scale is different when you go inside a structure, as in the inside of structures are usually much bigger than the outside. And so the spacing's not done perfectly if you go into a like subzone. And the thing is that there is, whoops, I did a boop. There is no real or throughout the entire map, even if you completely negate all the little small issues that it has. Like there's a couple of connecting issues between Mekator and the paths and the beach area. For some reason, those aren't lined up correctly and everything like that. There is still no direct connection all the way through without entering a subsection. So that makes things very difficult to try to think of how I get to the other side from that point. And the Green Maze is going to take so long. They're such huge tiles, and there's 9 of them. And they all have different gradients of elevation, and that's going to be such a pain. Uh, but this is the task I've given myself. Why? Because I think it would be cool to actually do this all out. But with all that said, I really don't think there's any way for me to. So these are the tasks that I'm going to have to do. Take out the Guardian Temple, or the Sea Temple, because yeah, that's going to have to be done. I'm actually really surprised that no passive mobs have spawned in this area. Like they should have. There's no other mobs anywhere around here, so why are we not having any passive mobs? I just don't know. Like, I thought you were supposed to get passive mobs if there's nothing around for like 10,000 miles, and there's nothing around for 10,000 miles. Like, there should be things spawning in here. There's so much area for things to spawn, and nothing has spawned. But that being said, and the only reason why I'm worried about that is because I would probably go after the temple first, but I need milk, and I don't want to drag a cow over here. And oddly enough, the other island that I already destroyed did not have any cows. They just had pigs and chickens. Like, seriously, just pigs and chickens. Not even sheep, I think. What the heck? Um, yeah, the island that's on the map are right over there, which the swamp is, which the witch's hut is basically right on top of. There was cows and chickens. I mean, pigs and chickens, but no cows, no sheep. So that's gonna that's annoying. Uh, And this is going to take so long. And this is only step one. Like, first step is the main routes that all connect to each other. That's the first step. Uh, Boom, boom, boom. Okay, yeah. So the first step is the routes that all connect to each other. Like I was saying before, it's it has to be all of these are connected. This is all part of the same connections all the way up to here. From here and here, there is a cave. There is the Baral mine. Right here, there's just this one little tunnel going underneath, but that is still like goes from here to over here. And all the way over here, there is this tunnel going from here to here. So all three of them are, and with those three spots, there is not a direct overworld connection throughout the entirety of the world, which makes things difficult, as I said. Now, obviously, these ones actually have like physical things that you probably could do, but kind of not. Because, like I said, like with this witch's hut right here, the witch's hut itself is only one, two, three, four, five. Yeah, only five wide. And this spot's at least two. This is at least one. There's at least two here. There's five right there. And then there's at least another two right here. So that's seven. So obviously, the insides of some things are not always the same as the outsides of something. So I can't be certain that this actually is the same scale as it is getting up to here. Uh, which is the annoying part. But then we have. But let's look at the progress I've had so far. I have gone all the way up through here to here, and all the way, and including this, all the way up to here. Now, like I said before, this one's going to be annoying for two reasons. One, the Guardian Temple is like right here. From the looks of it, it is literally like right here. So if I get into here, I'm going to start getting, you know, Elder Guardian. Boom! But the other thing that's annoying about this one is this is literally the only gradient. This is the only ramp. There's a ramp going up to here and a ramp going down here. These are the only ones that exist in the entirety of the game. And I'm pretty certain that these people, that the creators, were like, hey, let's put a ramp here, and then let's do a ramp here. And then they realize, oh my goodness, my brain hurts. Oh, oh no, 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 I don't want to do that ever again. And so they literally made every other elevation change jumping. Just, there's no ramps here, no ramps here, no ramps here, no ramps here, no ramps here. There could be a ramp here, but nope, this is all jumping. All jumping, 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 jumping. Oh wait, no, no, I was wrong. There's ramps here. I forgot about these. Uh, but it's just on this one spot. Ramp going up to here. Ramp going back down. For some reason, I Don't think there's a ramp. No, those are all jumping. Oh no, there's another ramp right here. Ah, boy, that's going to be annoying too. This place is already going to be freaking mind melting. Like we have stuff. Like we have this area that's going behind this area, and then you have to jump up there. A lot of this stuff I'm going to have to actually get into the game and jump around in it because well, you just can't figure it out by looking at it because there's a lot of stuff that you're going behind. Like all this is you're going behind. The same thing with here. You actually go down and over to get to this ring instead of because, and they do that on purpose. You're supposed to think, oh, okay, I jump up here, walk over here, walk down here, and I can't get to it. But no, there's just like a little passageway right here. It is the cheekiest of hidden things. Um, okay, so yeah, so some of this mountain area is also ramped, but I'm pretty certain everything else is just jumping. Like this is not ramped, this is all jumps, all jumps, all jumps, all jumps all day, baby. And all this is also just jumping. And this area is annoying because look at that vertical change right there. And again, there's a little shop that's actually inside of here, and it doesn't feel like that it goes down that far. So there's gonna be some more fun stuff for that. Um, yeah, it's just those two areas, the mountain area and the starting area. Everything else is straight across. But yeah, first step's going to be this bottom section right here. Second step is going to be this upper area once I figure out exactly how I want to line these all up. Because it's entirely possible that this is still to scale, like these two are still to scale. And it looks like they might be because as you can see, the line is like straight up and down, and this line is straight up and down. So if you pull this entire thing downwards, it might actually connect. And if that is the case, that would be amazing. uh, and so that's the second section, doing this entire top area. And then, of course, after that would be all the caves and all the other stuff. So, like I said previously, the last section I might just completely do in the end because you need to teleport into the place to begin with. So why not just have it so you go to the end? And that means I would have to transport a lot of resources to the end, but that wouldn't be that bad because I am getting more shulker boxes over time, and that means I could just transport everything through an ender chest, which would make things so much easier. Speaking of which, I don't have an ender chest on this entire island so far, so uh, I need to do that eventually too. But yeah, the final area is actually in more or less a different dimension that's not connected to anything we see here. Like, I think technically it's about here because it's, as far as you can tell, it's in the volcano itself because the volcano is supposed to be the dragon. But you never see, but you never climb out of the portal, or you never leave the volcano. So once you get into it, except for through teleportations, And so it would probably be best to have it in that in the because there is one point where you do go into a place where it's just like a massive void and only one pillar to fight the final two bosses. Um, and that's it. So I'm still kind of contemplating about that. And then, so, but yeah, all the caves, that would be a section. The final zone would be this another section. So we have the southern section, the northern section, the cave building, which would be like the caves are in here. There's another cave that's in here that starts right here, and of course there's a cave here and a cave over here, and there's actually a entire like subzone of caves in this area. Although again, that's all. No, you do actually go up vines out of it. But there are also a lot of teleport zones in it as well, so I might be able to use the Nether for that stuff. Because they have teleportation pads in this place, because for some reason everything has to have teleportation pads. Yeah, so I might use another a lot in this area too. Oh, and I forgot there's another little swamp spot right there, but it's not connected to the main swamp that's right here. As you can see right here, it's like there's the swamp. It's basically connected, only barely separated by a small mountain range. Um, but then this shows the last section of this build, terraforming the rest of the world. Oh, that's going to be so painful. Now, I don't know what this is because this looks like it was, a map that was inside possibly the game itself. So I think they just tacked that on to this area here. But it does give a nice representation of how this is. Like, I am. Uh, like, so far, I have built from basically here, all of this, and I'm stopped right there. Again, because the temple is like right here. So I have to deal with the Elder Guardians in there first. And I'm just not good with the potion strat. And that means that's going to be like a couple of days of effort with that thing because why? Because I just don't know how to do it effectively. Like I've seen people do it effectively. But yeah, and then this entire mountain area has to be done up, and as you can see, it goes from this like light orange and getting darker and darker and darker, and that means that is right there, which means that the island is actually continuing up into this section. I just can't see it because they didn't print that much. There's also this section over here where there's the lake and and then I also have to terraform the river going into um, Distel. Huh. That's weird. The name's different. Burla? That's not what that is called. Yeah, Verla. Why is it Burla in one and Verla in the other? That's weird. Huh. Yeah, so terraforming is going to be the last part of this entire build, and that's just going to take so long. Like, just like let's compare for a little time. These are only about, you know, if you zoom into here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, by 1, 2, 3. This is the average 5 by 3 things. There are, and the biggest ones are, well, this spot right here, but mostly these ones, which I think are like 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, they're 9 by 9. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 9 by 9. So these are the biggest ones, but then there's just like this entire area could probably fit the entirety of the rest of the map or of the routes into it. Just this area alone. Like, just move those into there, make a tour goes into there. This entire route can go right here. This entire route can go right there. This entire route can go right there. Um, and then these routes can just wrap around most of them. It's going to be a massive project to just finish the terraforming. And I could probably just block it all off. But if I'm going to remake the entire mountain, I might as well remake the entire mountain, you know? It doesn't make much sense to do it otherwise. Although this map does do a nice little thing right here. Actually, let's see. No, the game's still running. Forgot about that. Um, no, I think I'm done with that game right now, so I'll save and quit. But yeah, it does actually give me some actual range, and this is probably what I'm going to be basing this off of, because this is more or less what I'm basing everything off of. You know, it's not exactly 1 to 1 or anything like that, but it does have a good or approximate distance for this. Like, once you go into that little cave, side cave area, it says that it gives you like 2 movement, and then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and like 7. And these little dots are about 4 to 5. I say 4 to 5 because we can't tell for certain. Like, these two spots right here are identical, like literally the exact same. Yeah, let me show you that. Like, literally the exact same. You know, 3 trees by 4 trees, 3 trees by 4 trees, 3 trees by 4 trees, 3 trees by 4 trees. Which this makes it a lot easier to put everything down, to be honest, because these are right here, and once you know it, when you get over here, 3 trees by 4 trees, 3 trees by 4 trees, 3 trees by 4 trees. So these 3 tiles are exactly the same as these 2 tiles, just like these 2 tiles are exactly the same, just like these 2 tiles are exactly the same. Yeah, and that does make things a little bit easier, because then I don't have to think about how to do each individual tile. Not until I get to like over here, because even though Um, nope, these two are different. These two are different. This one's different. This one's different. All of these are different because they're not routes. Um, this one is here and over here. Yeah. This is what makes it a little bit more difficult, is because everything starts to, you know, do that, or everything's more unique. But like I said, these two, this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this one's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little pips. I guess I'll steal from Lego pips. So it's not consistent on how many is to each one, but through several calculations, it's about 4 to 6. So I could probably average on 5. But it would just be nice to have everything line up perfectly. And I know it's not going to, but oh, then I have to figure out where I want them to line up perfectly, or how I want them to line up. Because like right here, I had to actually have these, like, this one move over and this one move over, because I wanted to keep this line straight, but that means this one is actually over 2. Which, it's a beach, so it has a little bit more variance around that edge, and so that made more sense to me. Uh, yeah. But yeah, this is Mekator, like the city of Mekator on Mekator Island. This is where the island on Minecraft is. I'm guessing I would just barely be able to get all this in. But this one's annoying because look at this. There's walls. Just massive walls everywhere because this is a completely protected city and I have to do stuff. I mean, a lot of it's kind of consistent. Like, we have double slabs here, but unfortunately, the double slabs are not in a line with the rest of them because, like, there's a double slab here and a half slab here and a whole block here. And then there's a whole block here, a whole block here, but there's slabs in between each one of them. And then there's half slab cobbles all the way around here. So I can't do it 100% 1-to-1, but I could do it somewhat consistently. Also, they're round here. I can't do round, but we do have bricks. So I can do bricks, which is kind of cool. There's all these flowers, which we can actually do. We have these, like, very short flowers, which, because of, like, the cherry blossoms, we can actually do that, which is kind of cool. Most of these little rooftops are probably going to be cut down by one all the way across, like I had to on the other side. And then we have our funny little man here. Uh, the only time you see him outside of the 2 starter villages. And then there's the castle, which is in here, which is massive. Like, these walls aren't as, like, even half as tall as how tall the castle is. You have to fall 3 screens to finally hit the ground. Uh, and then there's that. But yeah, I'm just thinking to myself right now, you already know the plan. Do this entire area, then do this entire area, then do all the caves and dungeons and everything else. underneath. Then I think I'll leave the last zone too much to well after I'm done with everything else, because I would probably want to terraform this area first, because everything else is like inside or, like I said, in that void zone. Which I could do it like that, or I could do it like that. It's a hard thing to think about. But these trees over here, they like teleport you back and forth. All these blue lines are just tree teleportations, which is which I'm definitely going to use the nether for. You go to the nether, there's going to be like a cart there or a boat, probably a cart, because I don't want you to just like be going around on a boat. That doesn't make any sense in this scenario. If there's a faster way of doing it, that'd be interesting to know. And you would just get teleported, and you would just take the little minecart to basically just go straight up and go over to about here. And then take another portal that would bring you out onto this one. And I think that's the best way of doing it. Because when you go inside a tree in the first place, it's like another zone in itself. And then you go through the opening of basically a mouth. So yeah, I think I'm going to stop here for today. Yeah. Thank you for watching. I am the Car Bum. Now get out of my car.